Well, despite the rain, we're back with another edition of Master Your Garden, where we harvest tips from the pros to keep your garden beautiful and blooming. And our David Littman is at the Idea Garden talking about pests around your plants. We don't like those. So, David, I gotta ask, buddy, what's bugging you?
It's all those little creepy crawlies, all those little flying insects, Sade, that might take a beautiful garden and turn it into something dreary. But thankfully, that is why I am joined now by Terry Gerber with Smith County Master Gardeners. So Terry, let's talk a little bit about pests.
Okay, well, it might surprise you to know that actually only about 3 to 5% of all the insects in your landscape are considered pests. The rest of them are actually considered beneficial insects. So that's 98% of the insects in your landscape are truly beneficial. So we can also classify beneficial insects into different categories. We all are familiar with pollinators. You see lots of pollinators surrounding me here in the garden. But there are also predators in the garden that are beneficial, that have interesting names like soldier beetle, robber fly, pirate bug, an assassin bug. But then you have parasites and parasitic insects that use other insects as hosts to foster their young, so the young have a ready-made food source. And then finally you have the decomposers who recycle organic matter.
All right, so for someone like me who's not as experienced in the garden, how do you tell the good ones from the bad ones?
Well, with Master Gardeners, we like to think in terms of earth-kind strategies. So with that, it's not necessarily all about getting rid of the pests as much as trying to stabilize the conditions of your ecosystem in your landscape that are favorable to plants as opposed to pests. And we call that IPM, or Integrated Pest Management. And in that strategy, there are different practices like prevention, just going through your garden, looking under your leaves, looking for problems, and cultural aspects, making sure that you're planting plants that are good for whatever location you're putting them in, and then keeping it free of weeds and that sort of thing. And then once you do start to find some issues, you can always do mechanical things like pluck insects off your plants, or shoot your plant with water and knock it off of the plant. And then finally there's biological controls or practices. And that's where we're actually encouraging beneficial insects into our landscape and attracting them through having different types of plants that have different bloom times throughout the year and different shapes. And it's really all about diversity. And so if you can provide more of a diverse landscape, your plants and the insects around will love you for it. If you look for things with shapes like daisies and anything in the asters and sunflowers and that sort of thing, in that sort of family, your landscape will love it.
All right, well, Terry, thank you so much. Hopefully these are things we can do to help keep the good insects in, keep the bad ones out, keep those gardens looking beautiful all year round.
All right.
Sade, send it back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, David. I took a few notes there. All right, and remember, you at home can reach the Master Gardeners of Smith County by phone, online, or on their Facebook page. The info is right there on your screen. There's also a help desk that's open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can also send an email to the email address right there on your screen. We'll be back after the break.